Hey Barjo, isn't it time to head over to E3 again?
Oh, I think you're right, Goose. But hang on a sec. Whose turn is it to go this year?
Well, you and I went last year.
And Darren still hasn't sorted out his intergalactic visa.
Well, Rad, I guess you're up. But remember, you have to get a heap of exclusive interviews.
Yes, and keep a tight schedule. Remember last year when you got lost?
That's right, I was in Hall A, you were in B.
I was in B, I think. Who knows what
mess,
happened? It was a big kerfuffle. You know what, maybe you should go as well to keep Rad company this year.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. All right, ready to go, Rad?
I can't believe it! I'm here in LA for E3!
All right, Rad, this is a big responsibility. It's your job to get all the big news for the Spawnlings back home. Just remember what Barjo and Goose—
No time, Brain! There's too much to see!
Okay, Rad, we have a busy day ahead and we've got to be at... Rad? Oh no.
The Electronic Entertainment Expo is held every year in Los Angeles, and it's where all the big companies come together to show off new hardware and games. Now that I've got my pass, I'm free to start exploring this festival of games. But before the floor is opened, there are 2 busy days of press conferences. Exciting, loud presentations full of announcements and surprises. Also, did I mention they're quite loud?
We are proud to welcome the newest member of the Xbox family, Xbox One X.
Let's just agree that we love games and we want to see more of them tonight.
It's a dream that takes years of preparation for just one go at that unforgettable moment.
Olympics? Now that the press conferences are done, it's time to hit the show floor. Attending E3 are journalists, game makers, vloggers, and for the first time the public, who are just as excited as me to get in there and play some games and then meet the people who make them. Let's go! I'm here now with Ryan Cooper, who's the executive producer on Forza Motorsport 7. Forza's games have always been beautiful, but this one is next level. You've got new hardware to play with. Tell me a bit about what went into making this game look as good as it does now.
Well, we've got over 700 cars, over 30 tracks. We've completely reimagined the driving experience. So as you're barreling down the track at 200 miles an hour, cars come alive. Parts will shake and rattle. The driver will move around in the car. We've got new collision cameras. We've got a dynamic weather system. So as you're racing, clouds will start to roll in. You might see Virga off in the distance. As the storm comes in, there'll be thunder, lightning, puddles will grow, maybe forcing you to have to take a different drive line. So every time you come back to a track, no 2 races are going to feel the same.
Oh no! I'm here with Dan Hurd, who's the director on Super Lucky's Tale. Dan, what is this game about?
Well, Super Lucky's Tale is a character action adventure platforming game reminiscent of all those games that we used to play in our youth. And so at Playful, we set about to make just a game full of joy and delight and fun of exploration.
It's seriously so cute.
So Lucky's a bright, inquisitive fox just full of adventure, and so he gets plunged into this larger story larger than himself, and he's on a quest to defeat the mysterious Jinx and his no-good kids, the kitty litter. We're calling it a playground platformer. What that means is you're going to balance puzzle solving and exploration and collectibles and combat, and when it's at its best, you're in a perfect blend of those things.
I like how there's like little coins buried underneath. Oh, I can go in here because I can dig.
One of my favorite things is our new move, the burrow move. It just feels good, and we knew we stumbled on something cool when we started preferring it in the studio to even running around. We're like, no, I just want to burrow all the time. So there's a little bit of speed in there, a little bit of speed boost you get when you're just plunging in and out of the soil. You collect all these different collectibles. There's a layer of things under the ground that you can't find unless you start burrowing around, and it's one of my favorites.
So Sonic Forces is a brand new game in the series. How do you work to keep the games fresh?
So the new title, Sonic Forces, in order to bring something new to the franchise, instead of just focusing on Sonic and making a new thing for Sonic to do, they wanted to flesh out the world around Sonic. So you could create your own hero character inside of the game, customize that character to be who you wanted that character to be, and then add that character into the game.
So could you tell us a bit more about what's going to be available and how those characters are going to be used in the game?
So when you create the character, you really need to think about what character do you want to join the world of Sonic and have this character go on an adventure with Sonic. You'll be able to choose from 7 different animal types, and once you figure out what animal you want to create, it gets into what kind of eyes do you want the character to have, what kind of ears do you want the character to have, what color should the character be.
So have you made your custom character yet, and what does yours look like?
So I have created my character in the world, and it's a wolf character, but he's got kind of strange eyes to him.
Strange how?
You'll have to see when the game comes out.
After only just a few hours on the floor, I need to step outside and get some fresh air. Lucky for me, there's a cool space across the road for developers to show off their games in comfort and style. I'm here now in this really cool caravan with Bids. Bids, tell me about your game.
Well, the game Swords of Ditto is an action RPG, but it's a compressed action RPG. So what we've done, we've got a lot of the game, the kind of things you would have in an action game like that, but we shrunk it down so that instead of lasting, say, 20 hours, 30 hours, you have lots of different stories that each last about 2 hours. And the events that unfold based on the gameplay that you have in the game, they affect what happens in the next game. So you have these legends that you create as you play. I like that idea that these legends could be something that you could create yourself. And we compressed it together to create the game where all of these legends become your own kind of story that you write.
And it's also like compressing all of that into a smaller amount of time for people who maybe don't have the time to play a bunch of really long games.
That's people like me, because I'm a dad and I've got 2 kids and I just don't get the time that I used to get. So yeah, the idea of having something that's more immediate and more accessible is definitely appealing to us, yeah. In the game that we have at the moment, in the demo, we only have 3 characters. We have a boy, a girl, and a robot. But the final game will have lots of different characters, lots of animals. Yeah, we're going to go all out on that, so you get to play lots of different people.
Robot's good. Darren will like that one. I'm here now with Gitsy and JW, who have created this awesome little short game called Minute. Tell me about your game.
So Minute is a little black and white adventure where you die every single minute. Just go on little adventures, you kind of have this time pressure and you try to talk to strangers, find items and you start over again.
Minute's not a very long time, so it just ends and then restarts after a minute.
Yeah, but any of the items you find, you keep. So there's this kind of progress where you might find a sword and suddenly you can, cut some bushes and go further and it just grows that way. You have this little 1-minute radius that keeps expanding that you explore throughout the game.
Tell me a bit about the art style of this game. It's quite simple.
Yeah, we did it at Game Jam previously. That's how we came up with this concept, and we kind of wanted to set our limitations, so we came up with like the black and white art style, the 60 seconds, and that's kind of where we got it from.
It's just so nice to meet such talented and fun developers. But for now, it's time to head back inside and hunt down more interviews. The buzz on the floor this year is electric. And with so many people running around trying to play as many games as possible, it's easy to get distracted and even a little lost. Wait, where was I meant to be next? Hang on, haven't I been this way before? I came down that hallway. No, it was this way.
Don't forget to get a lot of interviews.
Don't get too distracted, Rad.
Remember to charge your phone.
If you get lost, don't forget. B connects to C. You've got to go through.
Don't forget
don't spin in circles in the hall.
Get Budge a present.
Could E3 be too much for one Rad?